On the previous occasions when WAPSAC has visited the Orkney Islands, it has been to dive the wrecks of the World War I German High Seas fleet. On this occasion, we decided to do something different and dive a number of the wrecks along both sides of the Churchill Barriers. As most divers are aware, at the outbreak of World War I, defences were put in place to guard the British Grand Fleet in its new deep water base at Scapa Flow, and this involved the deliberate sinking of old merchant ships as block ships to prevent access to a number of channels. At the outbreak of World War II, Scapa Flow again became the base of the British Home Fleet. When, on the night of the 13th-14th of October 1939, the battleship Royal Oak was sunk at anchor by torpedoes fired from U-47, 843 men lost their lives. The First Lord of the Admiralty, Sir Winston Churchill, immediately ordered work to begin to strengthen defences. Consequently, 4 causeways were constructed to permanently close the vulnerable eastern channels. These causeways are now known as the Churchill Barriers. While all 4 of the barriers are strewn with wrecks, for the purpose of the dives, we focused on barriers 2 and 3, as wrecks can be seen breaking the surface at low water from the shoreline. The SS Reginald is one of the most striking wrecks along Barrier 3 as it stands proud of the water at all states of the tide. It is broken into 3 large sections with the bow approximately 50 yards from the main hull of the ship. The easiest way to access the wreck is across the beach from the south end of Barrier 3, then surface swim across to the wreck site. The stern section is the largest intact part of the wreck lying on its port side. The depth at low water to the seabed is 5 to 6 metres. The stern section is quite extensive and well opened up. There are numerous swim-throughs allowing access to all deck levels. The shallow depth, allied with great underwater visibility with daylight streaming through the openings in the hull, allow extended bottom times, enabling all areas of the wreck to be explored. A number of the swim-throughs are quite extensive, running for 15 to 20 metres. Openings along the deck level help orientation and provide multiple access points. The SS Reginald was originally built in 1878 at the Govan shipyard. It was sold in 1914 to the Admiralty before being sunk as a block ship in September 1915. Although the boilers, engine and some of the superstructure was removed before the ship was sunk, large parts remain, and the seabed is scattered with remnants of the ship, including railings, winch gear and plates from the hull. Marine life has colonised the wreck site, with dead men's fingers, soft corals and seaweeds in abundance. The wreck is home to many crustaceans and invertebrates, hiding between the metal plates and collapsing steel spine of the ship. This is a very interesting and enjoyable dive site. The various sections of the wreck each provide a different experience with a labyrinth of nooks and crannies to be explored. The ease of access and open nature of the wreck site provides a great introduction to wreck diving, but also offers a lot to the more experienced diver. Our next dive was on the wreck of the SS Empire Seaman. This lies off Churchill Barrier 3 and can be accessed via the parking area on the north shore. The wreck breaks surface at low water and can be seen from the beach. The wreck lies in 6 to 7 metres at low water. The main hull section of the ship is relatively intact, with numerous sea urchins feeding off the expansive green algae that covers the steel hull plates. A number of swim-throughs allow you to traverse the full beam of the ship, where large wrasks can be seen seeking safety in the dark between the twisted and collapsed sections of the hull. Large shoals of juvenile fish circle overhead, but these are easily spooked by the sounds of the divers' bubbles. Littering the seabed around the wreck are several sections of the ship's mast, an engine cylinder and some boiler room pipework. There are also some large steel hawsers to the east of the wreck site. These were originally used to hold the ship in place while it was being scuttled as a block ship. Built originally as the SS Maria in Hamburg, she was captured by HMS Hasty in February 1940. She was subsequently renamed the SS Empire Seaman, purchased by the Admiralty and scuttled in East Wales Sound in June 1940. The wreck lies on a rocky outcrop, and this provides the opportunity for numerous swim-throughs between the keel of the ship and the seabed. The underside of the hull creates a shadowy underworld that provides a unique habitat and ecosystem, supporting a range of soft corals and numerous anemone species. Mature fish like pollock and ling will suddenly appear from between deck plates strewn across the seabed. Apparently completely unfazed by divers, they simply swim off in search of their next meal. The seabed around the wreck site is also a riot of life for those divers who care to look. Hermit crabs especially seem to like the area and are more than happy to defend themselves from all comers. To the stern of the wreck, divers can swim through the ship's propeller shaft tunnel, where the shaft and associated machinery can still be seen. The wreck site is impressive and quite extensive, and lends itself to multiple dives. For our final series of dives, we've now moved to Churchill Barrier 2. Access from the shore is relatively easy, although the rocks that break water at low tide can be quite challenging to cross, being covered in seaweed and algae. The mast of the SS Emerald Wings can be seen 5 or 6 metres proud above sea level. We came across this anchor on the seabed. It was used to hold the ship in place as it was scuttled. There are 7 separate block ships in this area. After swimming past the boilers of the Argyle, it became almost impossible to navigate underwater using a compass, due in part to the worst visibility of the dives so far, but mainly due to the amount of iron and steel strewn across the seabed, which significantly affected the compass bearings. There are a number of large and relatively intact wrecks in this area that invite the diver to continuously explore. With an abundance of marine life, this dive site offers something for everybody. The site is, however, quite complex to navigate, and having local knowledge will be a real bonus. And that brought our week's diving in Scapa Flow, diving the wrecks along the Churchill Barriers, to an end.